How's it going? This is Sean Alpha.
This is Kazma.
And we're here with special guest resident artist Emily, her boyfriend Oren, and Keith the Anti-Forcer.
Hello, everyone.
So we're here to review Free and Black Butler.
With my pain, I am
Two
actually
of the
just
most
crawled up in a ball
popular
sucking on my
shows,
thumb.
really, in the con scene at the moment for girls.
Oh, I hate
Weird.
Okay. So we go into the first show that we should review is probably Free, because it's the more recent one.
Okay, I can ask you a question because you want us to ask questions. So, is there any redeeming quality of the show, or is it literally just teenage dribble and nonsense?
If you replace the dialogue in Free with animal sound effects.
We could replace it all with...
No, if you replace the main character with a dolphin sound. The main character of the show is essentially the story of Free is about a bunch of guys who started a swimming club when they were kids. There was a disagreement once a person lost a race, moved away. They came back now they're the teenagers, and now they're rivals.
Tell me they all kill each other in the end.
No, not that simple.
Okay.
There's no death at all in the show.
Can I ask you a quick question? What do you watch after and between these episodes to stop you from taking a shotgun and taking out half of your estate?
I don't think that's so much
Basis
watching
fun.
anything as lack of a shotgun.
Okay, just go out to the mountain and just scream into the heavens "fuck" for 2 hours straight.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's the same as me, except you don't go to Hellfire Club like I do.
We'll start. Essentially, what this show starts off is the main character is the only characteristic he really has is he is one with the water. Is what it is. He loves to swim. He wears a wetsuit in the bathtub.
Can I ask one thing? Just in general about the show?
Sure.
Why?
I don't know.
What bet did you lose?
This was
Think
actually
about the hygiene
done,
underneath
but
the
this
wetsuit.
was actually a request by one of the fans, Fee, that helps run Akumakon.
If she wasn't threatening you with a death of 1,000 cuts, it wasn't worth it.
The animation studio that was actually Studio Dean, who actually produced Higurashi and Full Metal Panic.
Whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, wait a second. We're talking that's like saying, Picasso was the one who shut in a bucket and decided to call it art.
Yeah, but here's the
bad.
thing, right? Both of those shows, pretty looking girls. Mostly comedy series.
Yeah.
This is them trying to do something for females. This is one of the shows that was originated from Tumblr.
Okay. So you're telling
I still stand by. There's this unbelievably annoying thing of girls that shows that girls go fucking apeshit over and ship everyone in. That all the guys have this swoopy hair and have absolutely no fucking
my
personality.
theory is literally just that for some strange reason, girls these days in the anime fandom seem to go after excessively pretty looking guys. When if any guy was that pretty, obviously at some point there was a surgery involved.
I'm going to point out one thing. No offense to most girls that watch anime, but if a guy was this fucking perfect looking and really athletic and really deep and
He'd be a dick.
It'd be
no,
too,
just
too
No, no, no.
even if he
as
was
well.
all sweet and sensitive, he'd have a fucking equally perfect girlfriend. Why would he go for the average anime fan?
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Alright,
There's
so-
actually a girl in this show who is the sister of the antagonist who helps out the main characters, who is essentially the typical fan of Free.
If I don't eat my scarf by the end of this fucking podcast,
Oh, and she's
in
obsessed
rage-
with muscles.
Wait.
Ooh, look at those deltoids, or look at those altoids.
Okay.
The Altoids throw or
so
something
this
like
is basically they ripped off the romance quality from Romeo and Juliet having the female and the male not supposed to be in contact because of family ties.
No, it's not like that. She just helps out the team. The antagonist knows.
Because next, I'm sick and tired of people ripping off Romeo and Juliet.
She's not even romantic, a love interest. She's manager or something like that. She's comic relief. But she's supposed to be the relatable one compared to the rest of the fan base.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because everyone in anime should be totally relatable and real to... Have you seen most girls in anime? They're fucking flawless. What the hell?
Yeah, well, this girl is pretty much, she's pretty looking and she muscles. And
And let me guess, she's meant to be all smart, and there's meant to be kind of this weird tension between them, but nothing.
no, there's no tension. She just orgasms over muscles, and she's like specific muscles.
Okay.
Like she'll actually say the name with the muscle in it.
Okay, most girls and muscles I can get, but specific muscles is just weird.
Yeah, she'll like, oh my god, look at his biceps, or
Look at his finger muscles.
like literally.
Actually, there are no muscles in fingers; they're all tendons.
So we've gone through the main character, who is pretty much, you can literally replace all of his dialogue with a dolphin sound, because he's pretty much his only ability. Actually, he borrows some of the traits from Gray from Fairy Tale, as in he likes to strip off every time he's around the pool.
Oh,
Anytime there's
God,
any sign
that
of water, he'll
hurt
just
me
strip
so
off. It doesn't matter
fucking
where he is. Second character, these characters' names don't even matter at this point. The second person, he acts. He's pretty much, the Shota type of character. He looks younger. He's the shorter than everyone else. He's blonde hair. What does that remind you of? The Honey Senpai from Orange House High School Club.
Is there, just one quick question. Is there any scene where some kid is being picked on either by physical or mental traits?
And the protagonist then
suddenly steps in and saves the day. Is there any scene like that?
No.
So
Okay,
basically, this character, what you're telling me, they seem to be promoting him constantly as some kind of great guy. What great characteristics does he have then?
Apparently, he's a really good swimmer.
He's a pretty good swimmer. That's
So
pretty
you're
much-
saying...
So he's not in any way a good person. He's just really good as an
So
athlete.
he doesn't save people, he doesn't look after people, he's not a main character who does anything, he just swims.
So he's basically like
Okay.
a non-mutant version of Namor.
Okay.
The antagonist, who moves away because the family moves away or something like that, and he comes back, is pretty much a stereotypical antagonist. How do you know he's an antagonist? He has short teeth.
Is this like the Karate Kid and he's just a jerk for no reason because...
Pretty much.
Okay, so let's just see if I can get this right. Main character's only good because he swims. It's aimed at girls. It's made by Tumblr. So, I mean, like, I'm trying to find something good to say, ask you about this question. Is there anything, like I said, is there any redeeming quality? So, obviously, the only redeeming quality is after you watch this anime, you feel better about your ability to draw, write, or function in society.
I'm not even finished yet with the character descriptions. And then there's the other character, who is essentially just the best friend character. And he has a fear of swimming in the ocean. How come? When he was a child... He was at a fair and ran out of money to get a goldfish. And an old man gave him a goldfish. And then the old man died in the ocean. Ship crashed or something like that. And that's the reason why he's afraid to swim in the ocean, because the old man died in the sea.
So they took the typical thing of, I'm afraid of something because I saw
You know
something.
what that reminds me of? The Old Man in the Sea by Ernest Hemingway.
No, but
I wish that
people went
people
into
could
that
see my
lake.
expression right now.
It's a look of disdain
Keeps people
to
looking
describe it.
No,
Disdain and
and then
horror.
No,
All
but
I
isn't that
can
what-
think is the fuck.
No, but isn't that kind of an old dynamic? You're afraid of something because someone died of that situation or something, or that kind of idea of a protective mother who doesn't let their son
No,
do something because
it's
their
not
father
even a
died in that
protective
situation.
mother. There was no relation. It was just an old guy in a fair that gave him the goldfish in the first place.
Yeah, but then, in all fairness, he could have been a paedophile and his death was a good
That's
thing.
exactly the first thing that I thought when I heard
Do you want to
this.
play popcorn?
So, I'm
myself.
going to ask one thing. If your man's
Yeah,
afraid
something
of
strange here, we're not
water and
popping.
swimming, and this other
No,
protagonist...
he can swim in the pool, but he just can't
54
swim in the
kids went
ocean.
into that.
But they do have a swimming in the
He goes
ocean
in
episode
He
where
is-
they get
and
lost.
Iceman
He is
Rest
fully
of
well aware you can drown in 2 inches of water, isn't he?
Oh yeah, it's not a swim at drowning. It's just a swim in the ocean.
Which I guess is in a way a little bit more understandable, because when you think about if you got lost in the ocean, there's no fucking chance of anyone finding you.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? They
Hey,
do
before
like
that-
That gives me a good idea. That's what we should do with the people who created this. Just dump them in the ocean.
Oh, great, the swimmer.
and then
Release-
they-
no. Yeah.
Then they were short of a character, so they decided to add a guy with glasses, and he's all about, everything has to be perfect and pretty and beautiful and all this type of thing. But he can't swim, so they have to have someone.
So
to
why
teach,
does he know these people?
because he gets dragged in because he was like a good runner or something like that.
Can I ask a quick question? How many hours does this anime run?
13 episodes.
Congratulations, that's enough hours to start. That's enough hours worth of an anime to start to learn to do something convenient and good with your life.
There is no character development. The jokes in it are sort of the same sort of jokes they use for a guy's animation, but a lot drier. Such as the female teacher is like the head of the club, and It's just like, oh, we'll get new members by getting her to wear a swimsuit, and she'll just appear. It's like, what did you say? And that's pretty much the joke. They try it 3 or 4 times. It's done in other anime before, but it's done better. It's sort of like, it's very sort of dry.
That's because usually there's humor in jokes.
Would you actually promote this anime to anyone? Is there anyone who would actually enjoy watching this?
From the
Apparently, yeah. The thing is, people actually enjoyed this show.
From the sounds of this, I would suggest it to anyone who enjoys a good story as a form of torture.
This could be a good series in the same way dogfighting is a good sport.
And the thing is, like, if this is supposed to be some sort of feminist thing involving,
yes, because it's a totally feminist thing. Oh yeah, women don't want to be objectified, so let's objectify guys instead of getting rid of all these
this is the
fucking gender stereotypes that really annoy me because it just creates bland fucking characters.
All the guys in the show act like girls. It's pretty much the same feuds. The reason with the antagonist thing is because he loses a race. That's essentially how the whole antagonism happened. The rivalry happened because when they were kids, they raced and the antagonist lost.
Wait.
So he's a sore loser and takes him
My
30
nipples are hard.
episodes
Yeah.
to stop being a sore loser.
Okay,
So
so
does he even stop being a sore loser, or does he just lose again and just like...
Pretty much, yeah.
And become
Okay,
sore.
which would you prefer? To watch this again, or to have someone put a drill to your head and slowly bore through your skull?
I'm going to go with the drill to the head.
Okay, what if someone put on clogs, tied you down, and tap danced all over your crotch?
Depending on what size clogs.
Well, we're gonna say
How
like
heavy is the person?
I suppose I don't want to be more specific. A opera singer from where am I think? From France who weighs same as a small dump truck with size 7 feet.
I'd go with that one.
Okay, making sure.
As far as...
It's like 7 feet, chances are you'd actually just get both either side of both their legs.
Oh yeah.
As far
So
as
you have to
animation
have really small
problems
feet.
in the
Oh,
show, they have something wrong with the brightness. Everything is too bright. I've seen a lot of shows,
It's
and the only thing
painted
I could
with
see that
light
actually
markers.
compare-wise animation style is a really badly drawn hentai with the brightness done to a over-the-top amount
Dude,
of
from what you're
hentai.
telling me, this
Your
series...
penis is blinding me.
Dude, from what you're telling me, this series literally seems like we swam. Let's swim again. Okay, we swam. Oh, did we swim again? Is this basically all there is in the series?
What
It's
do I
just-
win? Another swim.
Let's
Pretty-
swim.
Pretty much like that. The guy has no actual special ability. It's not like a normal sports anime.
And I'd say they're trying to create some competitive atmosphere with like banter between the antagonist and the protagonist. And
No, there's not much.
no, they don't
no.
even do that.
So it's literally a series where people go back and forth up a pool with one episode where they're at a beach where they literally just swim for the sake of swimming and no character development, nothing. Why was this made? I can write better stuff like this when I'm drunk on whiskey.
If I was trying to draw this one drawing, I'd feel that there needs to be more of a story
Axe
to
Cop
it.
was better written than this. And Axe Cop was written by a 5-year-old.
Yeah, that's funny. And he became a super potato.
As far as like, I can't even consider this. It's on Wikipedia and other places. It's considered a sports anime. Most sports animes would have something like the main character would have like a special ability. Like I know he's more arrogant, dynamic in the water.
Yeah, like Air Gear, where he can...
Or he's trying to win something, or he's trying to prove something.
Or Yucky
You have
Yucky
to-
Japan, his hands
like-
are extra hot.
That's like having the Karate Kid just training sequence over and over
I can
again,
do
no sense of proving himself.
I think I was discussing
Like
this
my
with
brother,
you
huh?
when you
I
were
feel like
actually
a funner.
watching the anime. You can improve this anime
Oh, wait.
in
My
about
hands are just
3
fat and
words.
numb.
Water-themed magic.
Yeah.
Give them all superpowers.
And even
Or-
then, it would still be pretty.
It would still be shitty, but at least it would be bearable. It wouldn't be like shoving bamboo under your fingernails.
We know a lot about torture, don't we?
Uh,
Yeah.
Well, in fairness, Sean watched this anime.
yeah.
That's torture in itself.
So
Would it be more pleasant to
no
walk
one can
backwards?
What were we
complain.
just
Did that undo the
watching?
torture?
What were we just watching?
Like-
Oh
What
yeah,
were
we were just watching SD Gundam.
Yes.
STD Gundam.
So
The
next
Gundam.
up on the list is Black
Gundam.
Butler.
Dun dun
Wait, don't
dun.
have
Emily,
any
would
Black
you like to
Butlers,
describe
right?
the sort of the synopsis of the show or a summary?
Okay. I can't even describe the story of this because there was like.
Mind
I
if
don't know.
I start off by asking a question? And it's something I've always wondered because I've been told this. Is it true that the series is actually bearable? It's literally just the yaoi pairings that fangirls put up that makes it bad.
No, because the pairings are already there.
It's very easy to see the pairing straight off the bat. Like you like even if you're trying to ignore the yaoi factor of it, it's just you can't help but see it. Like I went into it thinking I'm not going to focus on the fandom or anything like that. I'm just going to have a look at the anime because people have been telling me about it, and I watched the whole thing and I was able to sit through the whole thing. I wouldn't watch it again.
Is it one of those things where you'd rather be thrown down a flight of stairs because you know flight stairs being thrown down a flight of stairs will only last like a couple seconds, where the series drags on in your mind like a painful claw against your skull?
You see, the thing is, I think I'd actually watch it again rather than that, just based off the fact I'm a massive art nerd.
Oh.
Because the artwork, I've got to say, I think the show is comment on, you can have beautiful animation, you can have beautiful character designs, you can have great music in it. You need to have an actual story. You need to have developed characters. I mean, Sebastian, I can't think of there being anything in his character other than he's a demon who's made a deal with Ciel, and he likes cats.
Well, there is.
Let's go into the actual.
Can I further your point? Think of this, people listening to me right now, because I'm awesome like that. Anyway, if you say, for example, you go out on a date, and the person is beautiful, like they're hot as fuck, and all you can think is yes, but they have nothing to talk about, you've got nothing in common, and their ability to comprehend what you say is that of talking to a drunken 5-year-old. What is going to happen? It don't matter how gorgeous they may look, you're just going to want to run out of that room screaming, no!
It depends on how desperate you are, which once again I think is part of the relation too. I've got to say, the only character I liked in Black Butler was Grell after, you know, that point where his head, you know, you actually get to see what he's like and red hair and all this, instead of the intro to it.
Okay, well, let's talk about
that's kind of interesting, just based off the fact he's
Let's talk about the story
No,
first.
there is one thing I'd like to say, and that apparently the manga series is actually really redeemable. Apparently the manga series is actually good. And hopefully I'll be doing a review on the manga series on my own channel, Annie Forrest, or soon. But again, I don't expect much of it.
I think we sort of jumped ahead of this. We need to talk about the story type.
Go on.
Well, the general story is 12-year-old, 2 years ago, before the point of the show, makes a deal with a demon to become his butler, and then at the end of his life, he collects us all. That's pretty much what it is. He goes around solving crimes throughout England.
Is it even meant to be England? There are so many fucking plot holes in that. There are so many historical inaccuracies. I can't look at it
In any
as
point,
England unless I look at it as an alternate universe dimension.
is it at any point is there Big Ben or anything like that just popped up?
They talk about a rat problem.
They talk about a rat problem. There's references to Jack the Ripper. I think, don't they mention one of the, what is it, Queen Victoria or something like that?
Yeah, it's supposed to be set in Victorian times, which is actually one of the historical problems in it, because it's actually set at the end of the 19th century, going on to the 20th century.
What?
And then also keeping in mind Jack the Ripper wasn't around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been probably set around 100 times.
Was this
100 years
series
before.
put together by someone who could draw well, who had the knowledge of history of someone?
Me.
Yes, someone who literally like. Oh my god, this sounds woeful. What have I put myself in front of? It's like.
Okay.
It's like saying I want something and then someone shoots you from what you want. I said I want terrible series. And
As far as characters, Seal has to be... He's supposed to be the main character. He's a kid, but he doesn't act like a kid. He is the most... I have seen more emotion from Shinji from Neon Genesis.
I mean, he's like the personality of a 40-something-year-old sociopath.
So me, basically, then.
He also actually owns a slave trade over in India, which is referenced in the first episode about his toy factory that produces children.
Yeah, and then I'm going to point out also the bit at the particular episode, without spoiling anything to do with cooking, and just cooking Asian food, but in England in a time when chances are there wouldn't have been that level of multiculturalism.
Yeah, there's also the butler that's Japanese.
Yes, that just...
Well, you have to understand that a lot throughout history, people flocked to London from other countries to seek things or to look for improvements or for jobs. I mean, that's
but
not Japan at the time. Japan was a closed-off country. They wouldn't let anyone into the country or out of the country at the time.
And then also there would have been, if they were flocking to England, there wouldn't have been that level of multiculturalism. They would have learned how to cook traditional English food rather than cooking Japanese
So
food.
the person who put the series together was a good artist, knew nothing about story, knew nothing about history, and nothing about the way people act out in England in any way.
How about character development? Let's talk about character development. Nothing.
I think we've already done that.
Okay, next topic.
Sebastian is one of the main characters, and all that he is a demon.
He's perfect at everything.
And likes cats, but hates dogs, which it's just why.
Maybe he's a cat person.
Well, maybe if he's a demon for so long, he has to make characteristics in order to have something to
As
focus
far
on.
as detailed artwork, the only times where it was actually detailed artwork was actually the
Hellhound.
the Hellhound episode with the dog fights, and it was just like all these dogs are tearing each other apart, and it's just like you put the most detail into this one episode.
This one episode that chances are, if the show was ever on TV, I don't know if it was or not, I watched it online. If the show was ever on TV, this episode would be the one that wasn't viewed. This was the one that wouldn't be allowed on TV.
How about there's 3 other characters. There's like a gardener, a chef, and the maid.
The maid who,
The maid.
all of their backstories are more interesting than any other of the
Yeah,
characters.
and there's times where they have like, I don't know, superhuman strength and really good sniper and one of other stuff. But they're mostly used for comedic effect.
Yeah, but
They have a couple of scenes where they actually show what they do, what they can do. Besides that, it's
like this entire show would be a lot more interesting if it focused on the help. Like, they all had very interesting backstories. And
that's what it should be called.
Well,
It shouldn't be called Black Butler. It should be called The Help, and it gets sued for copyright for the book.
Well, there's one funny situation to do with this show in my life that a friend of mine bought a Grell figure and went on and on about how hot Grell was.
Oh.
Because he thought Grell was a girl. And it wasn't until his girlfriend had pointed out that Grell was a guy that he literally just freaked out in the middle of his hall in his house.
This is the thing as well.
In fairness, Grell is a guy who wants to be a woman, so it's kind of this weird genderception thing going on.
That's the thing. Grell is not the only character as well. The Hellhound episode introduces a angel that is also hermaphrodite.
Oh yeah, that's just
Good God.
that is unbelievably. You know that bit that I'm talking about in the last episode, with that bit with the interaction with Sebastian and that angel, and it's just that's just fucking horrifying. That's just disturbing on so many levels. And I get that, like, most people, like, I know that some people wouldn't have a problem with that in the same way I would. In fact, some people might find it weird that I have a problem with it. But it's just that's just the swapping genders and trying to get Sebastian on their side with the offer of fucking sexual favors, but that's weird.
Calm down.
It's just, I want to slap whoever wrote that.
Okay, Emily's broken.
Also, this is one of the few animes that actually has a catchphrase.
Oh, awesome. What is it?
I am one damn fine of a butler, or something like that.
No, I'm one hell of a butler.
One hell of a butler.
I'm one
Haha,
hell of a butler.
one hell of a butler. You know, finger
I
motions
get the
with
joke. I get the joke. He's a demon. Hell, that must take so long to write.
He says it like 4 times an episode.
I'm one hell of a butler.
There was a
Did I
point
tell you I was
of
one hell of a
just getting a message off Sean on Facebook and just being like, if I hear one hell of a butler one more time, I'm gonna kill someone.
Yeah.
Why is this series popular? Because we got one person here who's trying to kill themselves with a scarf right now. Sean, who's got no opinion of anything good of the series. Me, who's reading the manga for Annie Forzers. And everyone else is just like, I don't want to be a part of this. So really, what? Please, if you can give me one good thing about the series, message it either on Annie Forzers or Geek Eire or whatever. It's just, let us know what the good characteristic is. We obviously, all the episodes that were good were obviously not in any of the version that these two saw.
I'm going to point out one thing. I can see why people would find it interesting in the sense of aesthetics. Like, as I said, this is a beautifully drawn anime.
Yeah, but there's also my comparison earlier. If you find a girl who, or guys.
I can totally see that. But like, let's face it, some people aren't so focused on a personality. Like, I'd much rather date someone who I wasn't attracted to in the slightest, but had a load of things in common and found incredibly interesting. there are so many people who I've met who are fucking gorgeous, and then I just can't stand and don't want to be around.
Here's about the two biggest things. The fight scenes in it are extremely boring.
That's because
Sebastian is too one-sided. He's too powerful with no signs of actually any flaws or weaknesses.
So it's kind of like what's his name? The guy from Hellsing.
No, Hellsing, Alucard from Hellsing actually shows that he gets damaged. And,
Oh, I know. So my point is that it's like that, except for without the entertaining back and forth. It's just slaughterfest of death.
Yeah, this is essentially
Okay.
Sebastian is better than anyone else in the series. There's no other character.
So
that can beat him.
basically, it's like the old frame trying to shoot fish in a barrel. It's fun at first, but after a while, it just gets boring.
It's like trying to shoot fish in a barrel with a nuke.
Whoa,
He's trying to shoot dead fish in a barrel.
With a nuke. And the nuke is a laser guidance system.
No, he's trying to shoot
There-
fish in a
there's-
barrel with fish.
They make a chainsaw fight boring.
Okay, that is impossible. I don't believe that. I'm sorry, Sean. Unless you can show me the scene, I can't honestly believe that chainsaw fight of any kind to be boring.
I'm going to have to agree with them. It's, as I said, once again, this is beautifully done, but the pacing of that made it really boring because it took up about 30 seconds of fighting, took up about 3 minutes. So the rest of it was like both attack each other, step back, banter. Both attack each other, step back, banter. And it was just like the pacing of it just made me want to gouge my eyes out.
Right now, I want to drink bleach. The one...
That's what I exactly said. I need brain bleach after this series.
Okay.
Now, another problem is the voicing in it. The bad British dubbing.
Hey, governor, where's my cup of tea?
That was actually a better version than the one in the series.
Thank you.
It's like,
Apparently, they sound more Welsh than English.
no, not even that.
Really? Oh.
They don't sound like any accent that occurs in the UK.
God, not even Belfast?
No.
Northern Ireland? No.
No.
Oh,
Could it
God.
sound like Australian?
I think the one thing that was remotely similar, they kind of got a Belfast
UK
accent to
Australian
the
accent.
Irish people
Oh,
in
right.
episode 1.
Yeah.
So basically, you make a drink game out of this series by literally saying every time you hear a bad accent, you take a drink.
And die.
After the first episode. Alcohol poisoning, the anime.
So, we have characters that are actually any way relatable, entertaining.
And I get that some people don't want to justify it as like, oh, there's more to it than a yaoi. And it's like, okay, if you want to think of it as anything more than a yaoi, then there's no chemistry between any of the... Like, Ciel's meant to be engaged in this. Admittedly, that's unbelievably disturbing. A 12-year-old's engaged.
Yeah.
And
They've gone too far.
he's been engaged for like years at this point.
But
I think it was one of those arranged things since
Yes,
birth.
but that's still fucking weird.
They've
Like,
gone too far.
I'm going to point out, even in the era of arranged marriages, it would not be arranged for a 12-year-old boy. They'd wait till he was older, and they might arrange it while the girl is younger, but the girl is meant to be older than him. That's just weird.
Well, maybe she's so hideous they know other option.
Oh, God,
No, she's the most annoying character in the
she's the
show.
most annoying character, and she's treated with this disdain by all of them, and it's like, that's like the one female love interest of the entire show. I mean, the closest is, like, the only kind of straight attraction in that show is, like, that bit where I think the gardener actually sees the maid in normal clothes. That's about it. And that's, like, 5 seconds.
Or the swimming hole episode.
Oh, God, that's fucking weird. All of the show blurs
Oh yeah,
into one.
also the main character, Seal, cross-dresses as well.
Oh, yeah.
More than once in the show.
More than once. Oh.
I feel
Yes, his fiance puts him into woman's clothing at one point.
What?
I feel like I'm.
No
being
matter
quite
how
tired with
much
this
I
freedom
ever love
movement.
any woman, you're not gonna feel love. I would never get into a fucking skirt for them.
Maybe he thought he'd have better movement in battle because the freedom of the movement of women's clothes
He's a
like a dress.
12-year-old. He's a 12-year-old with a demonic
He actually has
butler.
no fighting.
Is there any evidence this guy's actually hit puberty?
No.
No.
Maybe just like the breeze across his legs.
Maybe he secretly
Maybe he's
is
actually
trans
Scottish.
or something. Maybe he's a
Maybe
cross-dresser
he
or
thinks he's
something
Scottish.
like that. I have no idea. The characters are in this are so feminine. It wouldn't surprise me.
One of the villains that was involved in human trafficking, actually, in the show, gets released because he just pays off, and he then becomes a character in the background type of thing.
Yeah, which is really bizarre because he's like in the first episode. Usually the first episode is where you introduce the antagonist, but they introduce them mid-series. And you only actually find out the motivation for Ciel and Sebastian's contract in like the third episode.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the time you're like, okay, why the fuck does this kid have a butler working for him?
Actually, the third episode is something I thought... The whole thing at the end of the third episode, it goes black type of thing. That the fact that, you think it's going to be, Sebastian using some sort of bizarre magic, demon magic type of thing
Mr. Will.
to,
Williams.
end the situation. No. Because he comes out later on the show. The villain survives and he's perfectly fine.
Is his butler named Jesse?
Meaning, what the hell happened with the blackout? The blackout that never happened.
I'm going to chime in with one thing. I think this show would have been a lot more interesting, let's say, if Sebastian didn't always stay human. You never get to see him in his demonic form, and that's the thing. Like, you only get to see him kind of semi-transforming into this demon thing, which seems to just be a human-shaped creature of darkness with red eyes. That's about the closest to a demon form you get of him. So what, are you meant to think that, one, it's completely horrifying, which there's no inclination of in the show, and two, like, how wouldn't that make more sense if he's kind of a human form and acting like a normal human and then going into demonic powers and become more demonic?
Does he have any form of, demon? Does his hands turn into the claws, wings come out the back, anything?
I think he gets red eyes.
That's pretty much it.
So he gets pink eye.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like a camera, and you look in the camera directly.
So, wait, I could have sworn at some point when I was looking on the internet after pictures of demons, I could have sworn I saw a picture of him with demon with like fallen angel wings with black wings.
Oh yeah, that's all fan art. I've seen
All
that.
of it.
Yeah.
So this series is terrible and made worse by the fans.
This series is the closest to anything kind of horrifying in it. It's, I don't know, can I spoil something this bad?
Go on.
You know that bit with the queen and like finding out what happened to after her dead husband and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that is the closest to something horrifying, and they fucked that up.
No, I think the most horrifying thing in this thing is the fact that it's so popular.
Or that exists.
Why, God? Why?
No, even worse, that it exists. That's what's horrifying about it.
What I find particularly horrifying about it is
Wouldn't
the
make sense,
clear
watch it backwards.
sexual tension between Sebastian and Ciel. Like, he goes on about devouring his soul in an almost sexual way so many times.
I'm
And
sexually
then
aroused
that
by
bit
souls.
at the end when it's just like talking, like, with the bit where he finally gets his soul, and then he's talking about it, and it's just like, honestly, this sounds filthier than most dirty talk. Like, just like talking about how he wants it to hurt as much as possible and wants to feel every inch of it.
Okay. I'm pretty sure one of my eyes has collapsed, so I'm sure what the fuck.
Exactly.
So, people that haven't seen the show, what's your general opinion, since this is two people that are after...
Well,
I'm curled up in a ball right now.
I'll read the manga and get back to you.
Kazuma?
I'm actually just curled up in a ball here.
Oren?
Don't ever make me watch this.
Okay.
I'll break your TV.
See, I used to say
It
people.
won't watch it then.
I used to say people, if you annoy me, I'm going to sit you down and force you to watch Hannah Montana Christmas special from Disney. Now I'm using this show as a threat. If you don't shut up, I'm going to tie you down and force you to watch Black Butler. It seems
Most
terrible.
fans of that show would actually find that attractive.
That's true.
These are fetishy shows, and the thing is, they're doing the same tropes that they complain about from the male perspective.
Yeah, and there's clearly also this power thing in it. I mean, clearly this kid is clearly less powerful than Sebastian, but they have him in such a
Clearly the kid is useless in the
Yeah.
show.
And they have Sebastian in some subservient role that I can't help but
Is he
think
just there
of.
to be saved?
Yes.
Mhm.
His entire purpose is I think at one point he died or something and made a deal with this fucking demon in exchange for his soul.
Sounds like
And,
Princess Peach in the old
Like,
Mario
you
game.
know, clearly
What
he
demon
died
actually
at one
makes a
point.
deal with a 10-year-old child for a soul?
Dude, I read demonology. Be surprised what demons will do.
Yeah, but
Candy.
like, if the kid
Candy
has already
always works.
died and landed in a demon's lair, why don't you just fucking tear out their soul now?
Because by a contract between God and Satan was written up that humans can only sell their souls. Demons can't take them without being sold.
Right. Well,
That's
that
the
explains
very
it.
basic line of demon contracts. Demons can't take your lives. They can kill you, but they can't take your soul. They can't take your lifespan. They can't take anything. But if you make a contract with them, then you are in fact, selling it to them, so they do own it.
Yeah, but like, why not just tear them limb from limb and say you'll stop if you get their soul?
That is true. You could do that, but that would have not. If that happened, we wouldn't be here now ripping on this, would we?
Yes, but
But it
the
would
show
make it
would have
an
been a
MR, yeah.
lot more bearable.
Things that would actually improve the series? Tim Curry.
Things that would have also
Nicolas Cage.
Yes, Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage would make the show good.
However, there is one thing.
developed characters.
There is one thing you do realize. You do realize the studio that made Black Butler is actually in talks of making live action.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she looks. Oh my
Well,
God. It's okay. Come here. Come here. Come here. Hug him. Hug
I'm
him.
going back to the bees.
Can you imagine live action of this series? Who the hell would smartly act in it? What actor would be so desperate for a role they just say, "Oh, I'll do the acting for this."
Well, the
Nicolas
guy
Cage.
who was
I'll do
in,
it.
the guy
Okay.
who played L in the Death Note movies. Well, after L takes saves the world film that completely bombed, he'll pretty much do anything nowadays.
Yeah.
I know tons of girls fangirl over this guy. He wasn't that good of an actor in the film. Compared to everyone else in the film, he was pretty bad.
Okay, how many guys can we think of with, like, pale skin, black hair, slender frame, who would look good in a suit? That's how many guys we'd have that are willing to play Sebastian.
You
Let's
do
have
realize all you
Japan.
have to do is not go outside in a dark room for a couple of weeks and eat nothing but something that will eat rice.
Okay, let's go for an example here. Oren, if you were asked for, let's say, a few million to cut your hair and play Sebastian, would you? You will have girls throwing themselves at you every time you leave your house.
Most
No,
of them would
only
be
if they
underage,
agree to
though.
give you the money first.
I know.
Get
I know
run off with
how I do it.
Tell
So
yourself.
I would accept the job if I could kill the director afterwards.
See, you have to
You
decide.
see, that's surprisingly close to what Sebastian
You could
would
take
do.
the job. You could be the actor, but the thing is, for the rest of your life,
Unless they give you
you'll
the
be
money first.
stuck
Stab
with
the
that
director
stigma
first,
of
then
you
for nothing,
being that character. It's like,
You have to have enough for...
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
yeah. I don't think I can think of an actor that would be desperate enough to do this.
You know who would better voice this thing? Jason Statham and Vinnie Jones.
You know who would have voiced this in any way better? Anyone who was actually from England.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason Statham and Vinnie Jones.
Yeah, fair point.
Think
But-
about it.
But like, how many people would be willing to do this for far less and would actually sound English?
If you get all the voice actors and you replace them with sound bites from the movie Snatch, that's what would make a perfect series.
Well, in all fairness, I mean, again, I'm going to read the manga and get back to you, but if this comes out as a live-action film, I'm saying we have to do an Annie Forzer's Geek Air, review together. We have to, everyone from my team and everyone from your team together to do one review to say what this piece of shit of a movie is.
Okay, considering what live action did to Dragon Ball Z.
Kamehameha. Wait, you're killing him. Wait, that doesn't make sense. It's supposed to kill him.
Alright, so we might as well call it an end of an episode because it's coming on 40 minutes now at this point. So, this is Sean Alpha.
And Kazuma.
And
Keith Hearn.
Emily Brown.
And Oren.
And this is a Geek Era special. Remember, all the complaints should be sent to geekerapodcast@gmail.com or also comment on our Facebook page. So yeah.
If you
Not
want to
tonight.
threaten us, please make it direct. Tell us who you're directing this at.
Not tonight.
flaunt and see you tumbling. It's so sickening. I can't resist the way you flirt. Yeah, I should be dead, but my heart beats quicker than I get the feeling this is more. It's an excuse just to shake your little dairy. Yeah, that ratio a perfect score. And girl status is measured by a daddy, yeah. You're so intense and mesmerizing, don't know how to react. You're gonna still